All right. Etro, the immortal. All praise be, all glory go to the Most High. Most High, forgive us, forgive me, for we do fall short. Certain situations and things are happening in the world, in my own personal life. I knew I'd be on the internet. I knew I'd get here one day. I didn't think it'd be like this, though. But first and foremost, this whole thing starts and stops and revolves all around truth. This video is for you. You're my only son. Everything I do is for you. There's some scriptural basis to this, and let me just run these off. There's more to it, but it's what I got for now. Look them up when you have the time. Psalms 83:18, Matthew 19:21. There's a few scriptures around that one. John 10:34, Deuteronomy chapter 27:28, Psalms 82:6, just to name a few. Truth, I don't know how old you're going to be when you find this, and I don't know what life is going to look like. I don't know if I'm going to be sitting there next to you, kicking it with you, or I don't know if you're going to be by yourself watching it, trying to figure out what your pops was like. But truth, I teach you about being a father. I'm not your friend. You know, as the father, I am your creator. I made you. You came from me, just like I came from God. There's a chain. All right. I'm a creator, created by a creator. So you are a creator. As a creator, my role in especially as a father is to leave you something behind. And more important than just money and more important than possessions and all my stuff. I need to leave you my thoughts. I need to leave you my lessons. More importantly, my mistakes and my journey so you don't make the same mistakes. And if other people happen to find value in it, because I'm going to have to put this on the internet, most likely on YouTube and stuff, uh, other people are going to see this. So for you all, this is for my son. But if you could feel the love, if you could feel the truth that I'm putting down, then you can share in that love. Keep all negativity and anything away from this, because this is a lot bigger than you. All praise be to the glory of the Most High. Shout out to Truth. I love you, my boy. Truth, all of this started on Father's Day. And I really just can't take it no more. And I've been eating anger. I've been dealing with mental battles. I just can't take it anymore. So you could thank your mom for this, even though she won't see any of the benefits unless, well, you know, I always tell you truth that I don't want to tell you what to think, but I do need to train you on how to think. So you're going to have to make your own decisions. You make the right decision. Now, the title of this truth is like, I really don't want to die. And I'm talking about something that I've seen happen my entire life, truth. I've seen people lose their spark. I've seen people lose their will to live. I've seen people lose their fire and their desire. I see people stop believing in themselves, stop having dreams, stop having hobbies, and they stop living life. And when that happens to people, truth, something happens invisible. Something happens silently to that person, and they actually die mentally and spiritually, internally, way before their bodies die. So they're walking around, no internals, no brain, no heart, no courage, just the body walking around. Now, truth, before I get into this too much, you're smart, but like I said, I'm using YouTube as a vehicle to get this to you. So people are weird, some people are slow. So I'm not talking about physical death. I'm not a suicide guy. I'm not a quitter. I'm a winner. So I'm not talking about physical death primarily, even though it gets to that point. So true. This is a message for the chosen ones, people who have purpose and a mission in life. Understand this truth that if you don't find the true God, if you don't find the true and living God truth, which is going to take you to the statement of know thyself, you will become a victim. You will become a victim out here. Okay. This is a very glorious, very beautiful, fun filled life, but it's an evil world we're living in. I don't and I won't allow myself to lose, so I can't allow it to happen to you. Now, truth, I'm gonna explain to you a little bit about my younger self just so you can understand this. I haven't told you yet, but because of what's happening, hey, the internet going low. Now, truth, when I was a little boy, I grew up in a house that had a whole bunch of love in it, a lot of love, but something just wasn't right. And the best way that I could describe it to you is like there was doubt. It would have to be doubt. Like that would be the best word. So we had a lot of love, but we also had doubt. Now, my mom, I know my mom loved me. I know my mom loved us because it was me, my brother, and my sister. Well, my sister first, then my brother, then me. I know my dad loved us because my dad never left us. My dad worked for us, bought us stuff. My brother and sister loved me. I loved them. So our house was a house full of love. But there was also something that just wasn't right, true. Um, even though there was love, we also had confusion. So there's something called balance, truth. You got your good that comes with the bad. The bad comes with the good. So you got to take them both. You can't only just take the good. So my house had a whole bunch of good, which was the love, but we also had a whole bunch of doubt, which the doubt doesn't stay doubt. It changes. So doubt turned into confusion. Confusion makes arguments, arguments, miscommunication, tension, tension leads to fighting, and long story short, questions that nobody seemed to have answers for stop popping up. Because as a child, I don't understand all the details, but I can feel the energy. And you know when something just isn't right. So I remember watching my parents fighting, and I'd ask myself questions like, why are people fighting? And this is when I was like 5, 6 years old. I'm like, why are they fighting? Like, why does it seem like life is so hard? Why do people who love each other hurt each other? Why do things look one way in church but another way at home? Started asking that because I grew up around the Bible truth. Like, "Oh, thank you, mom. I miss you so much. I love you so much, ma. You ain't jump out the side, man. You was a real one." I grew up around the Bible. I grew up a Jehovah Witness, so I was hearing about this Jehovah guy, God, and I grew up hearing about faith. I grew up hearing about a better world. I grew up at the same time watching people suffer, and I was watching people struggle. I was watching people make bad decisions, and those bad decisions hurt themselves and the people around them. And so from an early age, I became obsessed with trying to understand these things, truth. Some people they get obsessed with trying to make money. Some people get obsessed with buying cars and getting girls if you're a boy or whatever. But me, I got obsessed with understanding. I got obsessed with figuring out what's really going on. I needed to know. I wanted to know like who I was. Why am I here? Why are we suffering? Why are people dying? When I first heard about stillborn births, truth, check this out. This is how crazy this world is, truth. Your daddy and your mommy, they can do a special hug, and your daddy could put a baby inside your mommy. That baby is going to grow inside your mommy for 9 months, truth. That's like a whole year. Okay. So daddy puts the special God stuff inside of mommy, and that stuff starts to grow and it becomes a baby. And the baby is eating and healthy and whatever for 9 months, almost a whole year inside of mommy's stomach. And then guess what? When it's time to push the baby out and the baby to come out, the baby's dead. When I first heard about that as a little kid, I'm like, "What? How does that happen? Like that? Where's the love here? Like, how does that? Like, that doesn't make any sense." And I had to figure out like what is that? Like, what kind of place are we living in when a baby, which don't make no mistakes, don't make no trouble, can be born in the stomach perfectly fine, and then when it's time to be born, it dies. Like, that's just crazy. But I needed to understand why. I needed to understand when I also looked into the world truth, like some people, they figure out life and they figure out how to make money and they started with poor parents, and then some people who had like rich parents, they'd mess it all up and they'd be poor. And I had to figure out why is all of this happening. I wanted my answers. And even still to today, truth, that answer search, the search for answers is still going on. But in looking for my answers, truth, scriptures became a part of my search. So reading the Bible, reading different books too, because God gave us more books than just the Bible. But books became a part of my search. All my music became a part of my search. The TV shows and the movies became a part of my search. Thank God I got spiritual teachers. When when the student is ready, teachers shall appear. Different spiritual teachers came and they helped me learn. Life became a part of my search. Everything became information. Everything was a lesson. And I remember getting introduced to ideas that literally made me question everything that I knew, truth. I'm like, I thought I knew this. And then somebody would give me some information and change the way that I thought about it. And I'd be like, man, I need to start reading even more. I had to study even more and listen even more. So when I started to look beneath the surface more, like, so in the Matrix movie, I showed you, we watched it. I know you're a little kid, you're gonna have to watch it again. But in the Matrix movie, you remember the scene where, you know, Neo was talking to the guy who ended up switching sides, and the guy was like looking at the screen, and it was only ones and zeros. He's like, "Hey, why are you just staring at that stuff?" And he's like, "Yeah, everybody else can see chairs and see cats or whatever, but for me, I just look at the ones and the zeros because there's more information looking at the ones and the zeros versus just looking at the cats and the chairs." So my whole point, Truth, look at the root of the things. Look at the ones and the zeros, not just, oh, it's a chair. Look at the root. So as I grew up, sometimes I'd be right. A lot of the times I'd be wrong. But I kept searching. And something inside of me kept saying that there had to be more. And the funny thing is, truth is, after 22 years of searching, I thought the answer would be hidden somewhere out there. I thought that if I read enough books, if I met enough teachers, if I learned enough secrets, then eventually I'd find the answer. But that never happened. And what actually happened uh brought me deeper, deeper, deeper into the rabbit hole. And the more I realized, besides a few factors in life, truth, just about everything starts and stops with me. So for you in your life, truth, just about everything is going to start and stop with you. Like a painter, my son, you are the only, like a painter, you are responsible for what your skills are and how good you are with your skills, and you are responsible for what you create with those skills. So you're responsible for getting your skills good, and you're responsible for building and creating things with those skills. But because you have to have, belief in yourself and getting better, that's what's going to allow you to be a painter. But stay focused, because we have the power to create our own thoughts, which when we create our own thoughts, we create our own feelings. When we create our own feelings, we can create our own actions. And when we create our own actions, that creates our decisions. And that is the power that we have, truth. So God gives us the power to think outside the box. God gives us the power to create our own inspirations. So keep it simple, truth. God is inside of you. God is inside of me. God is inside of us. And we need to activate God. I was explaining it to you It's about activated melanin. Activated melanin. Having melanin is not enough. Learn to activate it, truth. So, what is the opposite of knowing something, truth? The opposite of knowing something is to doubt something. Doubt is everywhere in this world, but your home is supposed to be your safe space. Like in the Matrix movie, in like words from the Matrix movie, my mom and my daddy, they never got fully unplugged from the Matrix. So because they were never fully unplugged, truth, doubt filled and ruled my home. So another way to put it to you, truth, is if you have super healthy seeds and they're sitting in your hand and you have to plant them, let's say you have two choices here. You have like really poor soil on one side, bad soil, and then on the other side, you have soil that's super healthy. It has too much fertilizer, too much plant food. Okay. In the worst case scenario, you're gonna plant seeds into both of them because both of those dirts are basically not good because one has no vitamins and minerals and no life, and the other one has too much strength and it's gonna kill anything that's inside of it. Basically, at the worst, you're gonna kill all your seeds. At the best, some of those seeds are going to be able to figure out, man, this is not a good situation to grow in. However, I'm not dead. I'm still able to live. Those seeds are going to come out of the ground and try to fight to live. But guess what? The damage is already going to be done. So when seeds grow up with not enough food, they grow up weak. They grow up not strong, grow up easy to get sick. When you put seeds into fertilizer, into dirt that has too much fertilizer, it fries them. They try to drink the food and drink their water, but their water has too much food in it and it just explodes them, basically, in kids' terms. But long story short, to stay focused, when I was a baby, truth, doubt got in because my mommy and my daddy was not unplugged from the matrix all the way. And when your mommy and your daddy's not unplugged from the matrix all the way, that lets you get easy access to the matrix. And if you get easy access to the matrix as a little kid, most likely the matrix will swallow you. But this is why daddy is here doing this video, so you don't lose. Now, as a baby, truth, doubt got into my mind. Doubt was in my thinking. Doubt was in my confidence. Doubt was making me not think that I can do what I can do. Doubt made me tell people I'm not ready when I was. Doubt made me tell people that I'm not good enough. Doubt made me want to wait instead of doing things now. And doubt, when you do that enough, becomes very expensive. It will actually steal time away from you. It will steal opportunities and chance away from you, which is basically stealing away your life. Doubt will keep you standing in the same spot. Life is moving. Doubt will convince you that you're being realistic when you're just being scared. For a long time, I fought with the battle and it kept going. And to be real with you, it's still going. I'm still fighting it. So, truth, at times, I've been broke, literally, no money, zero. I've had to sleep in cars. I've lost a lot of things. It got so bad one time, a couple days, I had to even sleep on the streets. I've walked away from situations. I've walked away from my things, storage units filled with possessions. I've walked away from friendships. I've given up a lot of comfort. I've given up a lot of uh things that people want. But I sacrificed my comfort. I sacrificed those things so I can get to a place where I can find answers. I can find God. So I had to question myself. I questioned everything. And every time life knocked me down, I'd get back up. I refused to quit. And I thank God for that. Because if that spark wasn't there, I don't know where I'd be. Now, today my life is not perfect. Heck, you see me and your mama, you know. However, truth, I want you to understand the difference is I'm not stuck. Okay. I'm not stuck in life. I'm not stuck in myself. I'm not stuck in my feelings. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to become who I believe I was created to be by God. Now, in the Bible, it tells you that if you have faith, you can move mountains. Well, truth, I believe in God. I have faith in God. I have faith in myself. So I have moved mountains. Not because I'm special, but because I stopped accepting certain lies. I stopped accepting the lie that I couldn't learn, the lie that I couldn't build, the lie that I couldn't create, the lie that I couldn't improve my situation, the lie that I couldn't become more. I've learned that faith in the Most High is not passive. Faith requires you to take action. Faith requires you to make a decision. Faith requires you to make movement. Faith requires you to make responsibilities happen. Faith requires you to take a step forward before you have all the answers and before you can see the proof. And that is hard to do sometimes, especially when you sip the brain rot poison juice that, life gives everybody too many cups of. But if you start sipping it, truth, you will spend your whole life doubting yourself. And that's the lesson, truth. The lesson is that life, it does not get easier. Life is what gets you stronger. Life is literally the thing that teaches you how to become God. The lesson is that every mountain teaches you something. The lesson is that God can work through you if you are willing. Truth, if you are listening to this years from now and I'm not with you, I want you to understand something. Okay? Like, I'm your dad. I love you. I'm trying to become on some God stuff, but at the same time, I am your father. I'm a human and I do not have everything figured out. I make mistakes. And guess what? I'm still going to make mistakes in the future, even after this video. So I need you to understand that life is not about being perfect, but you do need to search. You can never stop searching, never stop asking questions, never stop trying to become better, never stop believing in yourself, never stop trying your best. And I have never stopped believing that there is a purpose behind all of this. And that's why I'm making these videos. Not because I'm an expert, not because I'm a guru, not because I have all the answers. It's because I believe that people need the reminder. I believe that people need to remember that they matter. I believe people need to remember that they have power. I believe people need to remember that they are capable of doing more than they can think. And sometimes I need to remember that also. So this video is the beginning. It's not the end. It's the beginning of me finally speaking. It's the beginning of me documenting the journey. It's the beginning of me leaving something behind for you, Truth. The beginning of me showing the world that I won't let doubt win. Because at the end of the day, that's what I say when I say I don't want to die. I don't want my fire and my passion to die. I don't want my purpose in life to die. I don't want my belief in myself, which is believing in God, to die. I don't want the part of me that knows I was created for something greater to die. And as long as I'm breathing, I'm going to keep fighting for that part in myself. I am leading you by example, so I keep the fight going for you too. Now, I mentioned something earlier, alluded something to you earlier, Truth, and you're going to have to make the right decision, Truth. Now, I myself have made my own decisions. Yours is yours, and we're going to be able to be adults and be boys and men about this, and we can disagree about things. Now, my decision is my decision, but you're going to have to make your decision. I'm going to give you the right answer right now, though, but you can make your own decision. The right answer, I believe, is you better always take care of your mama, boy. Always take care of your mama, boy. You can't pick your daddy and you can't pick your mama. So you're going to have to learn how to forgive her for falling to the human side, but you got to love your mama no matter what. I always tell you that. I always will tell you that. You cannot change your mama. You cannot change your daddy. You got to love your mama. But the lesson is, do not let love make you make bad decisions. Again, do not let love in this life make you make bad decisions. Forgive your mama. Don't forget. Don't be stupid. All right. This wraps this up, Truthy Boy. All praise, all glory due to the Most Highs. Shout out to all my ancestors, known and unknown, that put it down for the great work. It's such a beautiful mystery. I don't know any catchphrases or anything like that, but we got to get off of here. So we just gonna say Icho the Immortal Gang, signing out. Truth is God. We out.